Hello everyone. In this lecture I am going to talk about some biochemical aspects of carbon monoxide. This carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas, and when somebody inhales that gas, this produces many deleterious effects in the body. And thus let's discuss these effects in detail. Now the contents will be introduction. In the introduction portion, we will discuss in detail the features of carbon monoxide gas. Thereafter, I will talk about some biochemical effects of the carbon monoxide, and this gas exerts its effects in different ways. That means it binds with hemoglobin, myoglobin, cytochromes, guanyl cyclase, and by binding to these all heme proteins, it exerts its effects. Besides that, it also alters the activity of nitric oxide. So we are going to discuss all these ways by which this carbon monoxide exerts its effects in the living organisms. Now let's start with the introduction. Carbon monoxide is highly poisonous, colorless, odorless and tasteless gas. It released into the environment by the incomplete combustion of the carbon containing materials, that is the combustion of the materials in insufficient supply of oxygen like natural gas, gasoline, kerosene oil, coal or wood. Besides that, blast furnaces or coke ovens also release carbon monoxide into the environment. And when somebody breathes excessive amount of carbon monoxide, then it produces deleterious effects in the body, and this is termed as carbon monoxide poisoning. And exposure to mild levels produces symptoms like headache, dizziness, weakness, vomiting, chest pain and confusion. And inhaling or exposure to large amount of carbon monoxide can result in loss of consciousness, arrhythmias, seizures and even cause death. And it has been also found that the poisoning of carbon monoxide can be reversed back when caught in time. But it has been found that carbon monoxide leads to the deficiency of the oxygen in the vital organs of the body like heart and brain. And when somebody recover from the severe poisoning, there may be permanent damage to these parts of the body. It also produces significant risk to the reproductive system of the organisms. Now the biochemical effects of carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide exerts its toxic effects in the body of the living organisms by binding with heme proteins. It is the main mechanism by which carbon monoxide exerts its toxic effect. Heme proteins are those proteins which are having heme as a prosthetic group, and in the heme there are present ferrous ions, and carbon monoxide has a tendency to bind with these ferrous ions. And heme proteins are involved in various essential functions in the body, and so carbon monoxide disrupts those functions and thus alter the various biochemical reactions which are going on inside the body due to these heme proteins. Now when carbon monoxide is inhaled along with air, then it switches the alveolar capillary membrane, and from there it enters into the intravascular area, and here it binds with the various heme proteins like hemoglobin, cytochrome P450, cytochrome A, A3 and all that, and it disrupts the function of all these heme proteins that we will discuss in detail later on. And after binding with heme proteins, mostly the heme proteins are involved in the electron transport reactions, oxygen transport reactions, and so carbon monoxide disrupt these reactions and produces either pro-oxidant or antioxidant effects in the body. Now the principal method of exerting the toxic effect of carbon monoxide is the binding of that gas with the heme proteins. There is another mechanism also by which it exerts its toxic effect, that is, it increases the concentration of nitric oxide, and due to that increase in concentration of that gas, uh, there produces many physiological and pathological effects in the body. Or in other words, we can also say that these two biologically active gases, that is carbon monoxide and nitric oxide, these two also collectively produce various metal catalyzed oxidations in the body and thus produces many physiological or pathological effects that we will discuss on later. Now, the effects of carbon monoxide is dependent upon the presence of molecular oxygen. The effects of carbon monoxide are related to the ratio of the carbon monoxide and molecular oxygen, because these two gases compete with each other for binding with the heme proteins. That here is an example, that is hemoglobin. Here both of these gases compete with each other for binding with the hemoglobin. And in the heme proteins there is present ferrous iron, as I have already told you. So the availability of these ferrous ions also uh, affects the poisonous effects of carbon monoxide, because carbon monoxide binds to these iron. If these are available in more amount, then it produces more deleterious biochemical effects and vice versa. Now the mechanisms of carbon monoxide induced toxicity. As I have already told you that carbon monoxide produces its toxic effect by the mainly two mechanisms. First is binding with heme proteins and second is altering the activity of nitric oxide. It increases the concentration of nitric oxide and in this way it alters its activity. So we can say that carbon monoxide induced toxicity may be by these different mechanisms, that is binding with hemoglobin, that is a heme protein, binding with myoglobin, binding with cytochromes, binding with guanylyl cyclase. So these hemoglobin, myoglobin, cytochromes, guanylyl cyclase, these all are the heme proteins. That is, these proteins contain heme as a prosthetic group, and carbon monoxide binds with these proteins and alters their activity and thus produces its toxic effect. Now, next is altering the nitric oxide activity. Carbon monoxide increases the concentration of nitric oxide and thus alters its activity and produces toxic effect in the body. Thus, there are these two mechanisms, that is binding with heme proteins like hemoglobin, myoglobin, cytochromes, guanylyl cyclase, and second one is by increasing the concentration of nitric oxide. Now binding of carbon monoxide with hemoglobin. So let's understand the first mechanism by which carbon monoxide exerts its toxic effect. That means it binds with hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is the protein that is present in the blood and that transports or carries the oxygen to all the tissues and organs. And when carbon monoxide binds to it, how it exerts its toxic effects. So let's discuss it. Carbon monoxide poisoning is very complex type of poisoning. It is also known as a silent killer because it does not warn a person of its presence, because it has no color, no smell, so it does not warn a person that is exposed to it. It produces direct toxic effects in the body at the cellular level, and hemoglobin, as I have already told you, that hemoglobin binds with oxygen and it forms normally a complex that is oxyhemoglobin, and in the form of, and that oxyhemoglobin complex dissociates at the tissue or at the organ level, and it carries or transports the oxygen to all the tissues in the body. But in the presence of carbon monoxide, instead of oxygen, carbon monoxide binds with hemoglobin and it prevents the synthesis of oxyhemoglobin, and thus it produces oxygen deficient conditions in the tissues of the body. And when we compare actually carbon monoxide and oxygen, these both gases compete with each other for binding with hemoglobin. And it has been estimated that carbon monoxide has a about 200 to 300 times more tendency to bind with hemoglobin. Thus, carbon monoxide and oxygen, when both are present, carbon monoxide binds more to the hemoglobin, and it brings the structural changes in the hemoglobin molecule and makes it difficult to supply or transport the oxygen to the tissues. And in this way, there is a deficiency of oxyhemoglobin and also that deficiency of oxygen in the tissues. Thus, it results in the generation of anemia, tissue asphyxia, and hypoxia like problems. And one more thing, that actually carbon monoxide displaces the oxygen from the oxyhemoglobin reversibly. That means when there is a sufficient supply of oxygen, then again oxyhemoglobin formation takes place, and as it displaces the oxygen from the hemoglobin, so the various vital organs in the body becomes deficit of oxygen. That means heart, brain, these all becomes deficit of oxygen. And uh, when a person exposed to high level of carbon monoxide, then it produces many effects like loss of consciousness, suffocation due to the deficiency of oxygen. And how this carboxyhemoglobin exerts effects in brain. Actually, it causes the more and more adhesion or the attachment of the white blood cells to the endothelial surfaces, and in this way it induces the leukocytes dependent inflammatory changes. It also damages the lipids by causing lipid peroxidation, and in this way there happens the demyelination of the nerves, and due to that nerves becomes unable to send the electrical impulses, and due to that it produces edema or focal necrosis, that is in the brain dead areas formation takes place, and also it causes reperfusion damage in the brain. Now cellular energy metabolism is also inhibited even after when carboxyhemoglobin is completely replaced by oxyhemoglobin, when there is a sufficient supply of oxygen. Even after, its effects remains in the cellular energy metabolism, and thus we can say that carboxyhemoglobin generates prolonged clinical effects in the organisms. Now the binding of carbon monoxide with the myoglobin. As we all know that carbon monoxide has a tendency to bind with the heme containing proteins. First one was the hemoglobin, and there is another protein that also contains heme as a prosthetic group. So carbon monoxide can also binds with it, and that protein is present in the muscles, and its role is to transport or carries the oxygen to the muscular tissues. So thus it performs the same function as that of hemoglobin in the muscles. and it has been found that carbon monoxide has an affinity to bind with myoglobin even more than that of hemoglobin. It binds with myoglobin and thereafter it generates direct skeletal muscles and myocardial toxicity. When it binds with skeletal muscles, it produces direct effects on the skeletal muscles, and when it binds with the cardiac muscles, then it produces myocardial toxicity. And carbon monoxide binds with myoglobin and its affinity is about 20 to 50 times more than that of binding of oxygen with the myoglobin, and it leads to myocardial depression, hypotension by causing the deficiency of oxygen in the tissues, that is tissue hypoxia. When carbon monoxide binds with the muscular myoglobin, it reduces the oxygen pressure and then it leads to rhabdomyolysis. Rhabdomyolysis means the damage of the muscular tissues, and due to that damage there is a release of myoglobin in the blood, and that toxic and its toxic effects are these that this can damage the kidneys also. Thus it produces damaging effect in the muscles, and when muscles damage, their proteins, that is myoglobin, that releases into the blood, and it can damage the kidneys also. And binding of myoglobin in the heart muscles may lead to the reduction of oxygen availability in the heart, and that may cause arrhythmias or cardiac dysfunction. And when it binds with direct skeletal muscles, then it produces toxicity in the form of rhabdomyolysis, as I have already told you that when muscles damage due to the deficiency of oxygen, then myoglobin releases into the blood and it can even damage the kidney. Thus it affects the heart as well as it causes the deficiency of oxygen in the skeletal muscles, and this produces more and more poisonous effects. Now binding of carbon monoxide with the cytochrome. Uh, Cytochrome is also a heme protein, that is it is having heme as a prosthetic group, and carbon monoxide has a tendency to bind with cytochromes, and in this way it disrupts the function of cytochromes. Now first one way by which carbon monoxide disrupt the function of cytochrome is that it binds with the cytochrome C oxidase. This is actually the last enzyme of the electron transport chain that is located in the mitochondrial membrane, and this enzyme transfers the electron from oxygen molecule to the water, and thus generates water from the oxygen molecule, and in this process ATP generation takes place. But binding of carbon monoxide with it disrupts the process of ATP synthesis or the oxidative phosphorylation, and thus reduces the cellular respiration, and in this way it causes deficiency of oxygen in the cells, and this is termed as cellular hypoxia. So in overall we can say that it disrupts the electron transport chain component, that is cytochrome C oxidase, and its function is very much essential because it transports electron from oxygen to water molecules, that is it generates water molecule from the oxygen, and thus that process ultimately generates ATP. So the generation of ATP disrupts due to the binding of carbon monoxide with that enzyme. Now its binding with cytochrome thus impairs the oxidative metabolism, and that process also leads to the formation of free radicals. Free radicals means reactive oxygen species like superoxide ion, hydroxylide and all that. These free radical species are also highly damaging due to the presence of unpaired electrons in them, and these can damage the different biomolecules which are present in the cell, like proteins, lipids and all that. Besides reactive oxygen species, reactive nitrogen species also generates. When these reactive oxygen species binds with nitric oxide, that generates reactive nitrogen species. And here there is an example, which is peroxynitrite. Its formation takes place when superoxide ion binds with nitric oxide, and these reactive nitrogen species also produce damaging effects in the cells, and it also causes the acid base balance in the blood, that is, it causes metabolic acidosis in the cells. Besides that, carbon monoxide also produces its toxic effect by binding with another kind of cytochrome, and these are cytochrome 450 enzymes. These are usually present in the whole body, and their effect mainly in the liver are the drug metabolism and all that. So by binding carbon monoxide to the cytochrome P450, also disrupt the functions of the enzymes, that is cytochrome P450 enzymes in the body, and their function is also very much essential. So carbon monoxide produces its toxic effects by disrupting the function of these enzymes. Binding of carbon monoxide with guanylate cyclase. This guanylate cyclase is also heme containing enzyme. Therefore, carbon monoxide has a tendency to bind with it and disrupts its function. So let's understand what is the function that this enzyme performs. To To understand its function, let's understand the role of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is very much essential, and it is involved in the various signal transduction pathways that are going on inside the cells, and one of that signal transduction pathway is that the presence of it produces many cognitive or learning or memory related effects in the human bodies, and and it it is sensed by actually guanylate cyclase enzyme. Guanylate cyclase, after sensing nitric oxide, produces guanylate monophosphate, and it modulates some of the learning and memory in human beings. When carbon monoxide binds with guanylyl cyclase, it forms a complex that is termed as carboxyguanylyl cyclase, and it interferes with the activation of guanylyl cyclase in response to the nitric oxide. It becomes it unable to sense the presence of nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is essential for some learning and memory development in the human beings. When it do not sense the nitric oxide, it produces various effects like cyclic GMP decreases. It also results in the release of excitatory neurotransmitter. It also causes cerebral vasodilation, neurologic injury, memory loss and unconsciousness and all that. Thus, overall we can say that guanylate cyclase senses the presence of nitric oxide, but when guanylate cyclase binds with carbon monoxide, it becomes unable to sense the nitric oxide, and when it do not sense the nitric oxide, then a signal transduction pathway that is involved in the generation of memory and learning in the human beings that get disrupted, and ultimately that results into different effects like cerebral vasodilation, neurologic injury, memory loss, unconsciousness in the human beings. Alteration of nitric oxide concentration. As I have already told you that carbon monoxide exerts its effects by the two mechanisms. First one is by binding with heme proteins, and second is by altering the nitric oxide concentration in the blood. And this is the second mechanism, that how carbon monoxide produces its toxic effect by altering the concentration of nitric oxide. Actually, nitric oxide is very much essential in the blood, and it is present on the surface of the platelets, and it prevents the formation of aggregates of the platelets in the blood and prevents the blood coagulation. But carbon monoxide, if present, it replaces the nitric oxide present on the surface of the platelets by binding with the heme proteins on the surface of the platelets. So in the blood, free nitric oxide concentration increases, and this nitric oxide binds with superoxide free radicals that have already been generated by due to the effect of carbon monoxide in the blood, and it leads to the formation of reactive nitrogen species, and this is peroxynitrite. When superoxide ion binds with nitric oxide, it leads to the formation of peroxynitrite, and it inhibits the mitochondrial function and also increases the platelet activation. That is, platelets now can form aggregates with each other, and that leads to the formation of or it leads to the nodes in the blood, or the causes the coagulation of the blood. Activated platelets also stimulate the neutrophils to degranulate. That means in the neutrophils there are present granules, and it stimulates the neutrophils to release their granules and also release the myeloperoxidase. And this myeloperoxidase enzyme amplifies the inflammatory effects by triggering more and more neutrophil activation, their adhesion on the endothelial membrane, and degranulation. And now proteases from the neutrophils have been proposed to oxidize the endothelial cell xanthine dehydrogenase. That means proteases also oxidize the xanthine dehydrogenase to xanthine oxidase, and this is also involved in the generation of more and more reactive oxygen species. Ultimately, myeloperoxidase and reactive oxygen species, these both produces damaging effects. These both causes peroxidation of the lipids, and uh, also trigger more and more the lymphocyte response. That means these lymphocytes becomes more and more degranulated, and also these causes microglial activation. In this way, inflammatory cascade that is driven by nitric oxide and reactive oxygen species contributes to the neurological and cardiac injuries from the carbon monoxide poisoning. Thus, overall, we can say that carbon monoxide produces its toxic effects by binding with heme proteins, as well as by increasing the uh, free nitric oxide concentration in the blood. These two effects ultimately disrupts the functions of all the heme proteins, and thus affects the oxygen binding, oxygen carrying reactions, as well as it disrupts the function of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is very much important physiologically in the body, and it disrupts all the signal transduction pathways in which this is involved. Thus carbon monoxide is highly poisonous gas and produces its toxic effects on the human body.